listeners, Harika here, and I'm super excited to welcome you to UppTalk. If you're ready to learn and get your hands work wonders in the world of information technology, then you're in the right place. When I say UppTalk, we are not just another edtech company. Consider we are your learning partner committed to unlocking your full potential. Whether you're stepping into the world of technology for the first time or looking to advance your career, we provide top-tier, hands-on courses to build up your career. Let's take our first step towards learning here and explore it.
Today's session, what we will do is we'll discuss about earning. What is earning? In order to process earning, what details you need, we will discuss. And of course, payment reduction rules. Testing is still pending and I am into another tenant. The data, what you configured, is not available in the tenant. That's why I'm starting this topic. But on Monday, I will configure all the required data. We will initiate testing part. When you're creating a pair, learning a set of questions we are asked our customers. Something like, what is the earning name? Example, who is eligible for the surname? Who is eligible for the surname? What is the frequency? Not mandatory. And it's not mandatory. You said because, yes, because I will tell why I'm saying not mandatory. I will explain. Don't worry, it's not mandatory frequency. Sometimes, as I said, earnings are of two types through parallel input. When you're processing, you may require to override the frequency at that time. Only will define, not mandatory, at earning level. And then we would like to provide earning amount. If you ask, based on calendar days or clean days, what are all taxes impacting the surname? In simple, what are taxes? We'll calculate on the surname. Is there any benefit or no? Any benefit or no? Any benefit should happen on this earnings. These are common questions that ask to the customer, of course, eligible to rule or uncategorized pay group additional criteria. For parallel earning, what is the source? Can you guess? Can I create just like the parallel earning? Basically, source is compensation. Example, I hope she Logan has access. I will go to an employee John. Here each compensation on one, let's say comp plan or compensation component. Each plan we have to pull the amount into the payroll calculation engine. I know. And then be analyzed based on the employee pay frequency. What? I know. The analyze is on employee. What is the annualized here? Let's see this example. Same amount. Same amount. I have a monthly frequency. How much the employee will get per month? Take the number 19778 divided by 12. How much? 16564.83. Oh, I got the value monthly frequency. Nothing but total amount divided by 12 months. This is the number. Same employee. I mean another employee with semi-monthly frequency. How much you will get is a different amount. Five FU divided by 2. Why he just semi-monthly? 828141. What has inbuilt calculations? When you select this calculation, it will pull the employee compensation into payroll calculation engine. It will check what is the pay group of this employee. Here we check the pay group of the employee. He is semi-monthly. Semi-monthly means every 15 days. Divide this amount divided by 24. Why not 2 hours? It's semi-monthly. Semi-monthly. If it is weekly, then 53 weeks automatically. The amount should be prorated. Source is here. This is the source. Now let's see. We'll create a simple allowance plan. Simple. And the source is the source of the plans. The source for the compensation plan is compensation team is responsible to create these earnings. Let me run one example. We will play a role as a compensation partner. We will play a role as a payroll partner and we will see, compensation consultant, payroll consultant, and we'll create and we'll see how that name works. This session is just to give you an idea of how the compensation data will be pulled into the payroll calculation engine. Only one thing, this is share a tenant. We may not have full access, but let me give a try. As a compensation team, assume we are all one team. We got a requirement. The requirement is they have a meal allowance. A new plan called meal allowance. Meal allowance every semi-monthly, Mr. John Chen. Our employees who serve in semi-monthly eligible for $500. Some monthly. And let's say $1,000 per month per 1,000 employee is eligible. Now I'm going to create an allowance plan which is meal allowance. This is a compensation team job. It's not our job. It's not payroll job. Create allowance plan. It's HR's job. In HR again, we have a team called compensation and the rewards team. They are responsible. What is this payroll? Last run date. This completely new tenant. Oh my. No result. Let me initiate. Don't worry about this. During payroll process, I will explain. Now I want pay results to process and I'm initiating this. Just we are refreshing until it's 100% 75 employees. That isn't why I'm doing, we need some sample employees, hence. Now select one employee from professional corporate. I'll send Hunter. Let's go with this worker. I'll send Hunter. I'm going to create a new program. For this employee, we're going to test. And of course, we have to check the pay results. 1 to 10 and 19. In this date, only I'm able to test because, as I mentioned, I'm into another tenant. On this date, only I can test. What I'm going to do, I'm going to create first role compensation as a compensation consultant. I'm going to create a meal allowance. And as a compensation consultant, I'm going to create a Before that, let me check the conference. Let me create this. Here we are going to map something like this. Once you assign this compensation element or running, it will map here. Now let's see just the compensation. It acts as a bridge between compensation pay. Now create allowance plan. Oh, because the results are available on that date. Now here we're going to enter the name and element just now, we create assign it here. I'm saying $1,000 per month. Frequency. Compensation consultant plan is ready. Now compensation consultant is going to assign this plan to an employee. Let's take this guy. I'm going to send the compensation plan further. The new plan should be available here. Production composition. Request composition change effective date 2023. And then you can go to the one of the, any of them can be fine. Scroll down to the other one section. And meal allowance. We created $1,000 before to submit. Perfect. Now at a worker profile, I can see the meal allowance. I can see meal allowance. Similarly, I will go to the worker pay. Let me show her employee's current pay slip. We are not able to see any meal allowance on the plan. Expectation. Once we get earning and run, another line should add here and it should display the meal allowance of $1,000 here. Currently it is not there. A compensation team is done. They get the plan. They are sent to the worker. What next now? Now the payroll team job will start. Payroll team job will start. Access the task. This is a very basic, simple learning I'm creating. This is the task. Or payroll one. Enter the name. The code acts as a reference. ID for this learning, default payslip name. If you want to default any payslip name, sorry. Now, if I don't do any value here, this value will be displayed in the payslip. If I give any value here, something like this is going to be present in the payslip, not this value. I'm repeating again in the payslip. In the payslip, if I go default payslip name, this one will be different on the payslip. If I don't give any value here, this is going to be displayed in the payslip. Up to customer equipment however they want. Country restricted to USA. Effective date 1/1/2019. Criteria run category we created. Let's select regular. Pay group. If I have, for example, semi-monthly professional is there, and then admin is there, and then what do you call it? Different pay groups are there. If I select can you explain? I'm sorry, the relationship to the run category. Every earning has to be associated with a run category. Good one. This is a criteria. Now, if I'm not giving here, I have run categories, different types, regular, off cycle, on demand. They are in categories. If I'm not giving any value here, which means this name is eligible for all the run categories. Oh, if it's a regular here, which means this earning is eligible only for regular and category. Why we here? We are different, active employees. You remember. It's going to check on this conference is going to be calculated. That's fine. You regular. If you're not giving, there's no harm bonus run category. Also, it will be processed automatically. Commission also. It will be processed automatically, but our requirement is only for regular employees and ongoing plan. Similarly, I have different types of pay groups here. If I select any pay group here, which means I'm restricting this, earning must be eligible only for the people who are part of this pay group. I have admin and professional. Those two pay groups are not eligible. If you unselect it, all the employees in the pay group are eligible. Does it make sense? Can you scroll up for a minute? I just want to see what form you're on again. Let me go. Can you scroll up? Here we have different types of papers. If I'm not selecting any pay groups, which means all pay groups are eligible for this earning. Earning in the sense middle of it. Everyone is eligible. If I select any of the pay group, which means only the particular pay group employees are eligible. Essentially, it sets a restriction. Exactly. This is one, not manually or different. Then the main important is here. Are there further criteria? Who is eligible? Here you're defining active as terminated early. Here you're defining which pay group is eligible. Here you're defining who is eligible. And here, what are the data I'm going to configure? Please ignore. Don't worry because you may feel like complex at this moment. I'm going to start the session called calculation. I will explain in detail. If this session is just an overview for you to understand what is earning, that's all. I want to get eligible to rule. What is my eligibility rule? The employee who's ever have the compensation plan called middle of earnings. The employee eligible for this earnings. Reasonable for this earnings. What I'm saying is I have, for example, I said to this pay group, under this pay group, let's say under this pay group, I have 100 employees are there in this pay group. A 100 employees are there in this pay group. If I'm not giving this eligibility rule, which means all 100 employees are eligible for this earnings, it will process for all the 100 employees. Now, if I gave eligibility, I want to process only for the employee out of 100 employees. I want to process only for the employees who is having this compensation plan. Then I need additional criteria here. Let me hold any questions on my statement. Who are you going to? How are you going to select that? I'm going to create that. I'm saying no pay group since the testing tenant, which means all the employees are eligible here to check. Additional criteria, what I'm going to do select prompt create. Since I know which calculation is suitable directly, I'm going to that calculation, but I'm going to walk through all this calculation for you. Don't worry. Calculations are never be constant until we continuously practice and we continuously understand the logics. It's always different. Does Workday come with KLC already created? Of course, that is going to depend here. We are going to depend here. These are the eligibility rules. We have to come. Then it says that comparison calculation. Name relevance plan equal to mid relevance. Now, if you are an SAP, this is nothing but schema, sub-schema function. Sorry, PCR functions operations, but compared to that, SAP Workday is simplified. Now I have to write a criteria. Criteria resource field employee compensation plan as of period ended. Standard fees compensation plans as of period ended in the section list. The employee who is having this mid allowance plan, that employee is eligible. That's what I'm trying to say onto this ad name. Then calculation, I'm going to select a workday, delivered calculation, standard calculation, compensation, element value. This calculation, standard calculation, if you are creating an earning for a compensation plan, then standard by default. This workday delivered compensation, workday delivered payroll calculation. A request, can please read this one? I mean, you can just go through this one. You're saying that we would always have to select that. If you're bringing the compensation value and that to amount, not percentage, 1%, we have different things. This is not suitable for hourly wage, is not suitable for percentage compensation plan, only amount based. But not suitable for salary. What did you say? It's not suitable for what? Not suitable for percentage based compensation plans. Example, housing allowance not suitable for hourly compensation plan because we are to process the rate. Normally, again, this is a quick sum compensation knowledge, compensation plans of 3 types. Amount of flat amount, let's say $1,000. Percentage example in $1,000, 10%. Something like that. 10% you want to calculate. Another one is rate per hour. Hourly wage employee per hour $100. This calculation is suitable here. Amount based, not for these 2 requirements. That's what I'm saying. I'm not explaining in this class since I want to make it very simple. I don't want to confuse you guys. Once we start, we'll create 3 types of earnings. Easy, moderate, complex. Let's see. This is a basic, easy one. I'm not giving any further values scrolling down directly, but I want you guys to explore. Monday will configure one moderate complex compensation element. You remember we created a meal allowance. Compensation element, meal allowance. We created a compensation plan with that. Now integrate the compensation plan, meal allowance here. You go to the bridge now. This meal allowance is going to fetch the compensation data into payroll calculation engine. Similarly, scroll up. You have two tabs. Any earnings when you're creating. Effective date. What are the changes you do here? You must enter the effective date. That's why effective dated, you must enter the effective date. Any changes you want to apply. Non-effective dated. In the pay accumulation, we have selected one pay component on gross. Did anyone remember? What is the pay component? Add to gross. Now, if you would like to add this earning to the gross, you must select this pay component. Then only this particular amount will be displayed under gross section in the payslip. And what taxes will be calculated on this earning? Federal state taxable. City local. State and government insurance. We will talk during our finance. What do you call finance? Sorry, taxes in class. Creating a very basic, simple earning. If you notice everything, I've selected all the fields which are delivered by work except this eligibility criteria. I created this one just to show how to get eligible to lose. We're going to get more and more incoming sessions. Any question? You don't put any worker eligibility, then it's just going to pull. If I'm not giving this one, everyone is eligible. Everyone is eligible. That's essentially, like you said, a restriction. I'm starting. We'll do a quick test. I assign to Miss. Let me go to the worker. Pay results. I'm going to recalculate for this employee since its current status in progress. And I'm able to recalculate. Related action. Pay calculation. Here, each paper, we will get 1. For each pay frequency, we'll get one row. Each row will be added. I'm going to recalculate to test our learning. It is processing or not. Instead of running the peel for all the employees first, I want to check for one employee. Related action. Pay result. So, pay calculation. Recalculate. Now here if I submit, if 1000 has been added 14 cents 75, then our testing is passed. If you can still see the same amount, then do you submit the configuration? I can see 14,275, which means amount has been processed. Let's see the pay slip. have been processed. But question at employee, I gave $1,000, but why $500 only has been calculated? It should come $1,000. It's the pay frequency. Employee pay frequency, month, nominal. He'll get in the next paycheck twice a month. Correct. He'll get 100. This one. I would like to give an example. It's just a practice. I mean, just to get familiar. What is our name? How the data is flowing from competition. What? What is in the company's element? How it is integrated with our plan and send the data. That's all. Why we are integrating the compensation plan with the payroll? Because directly, if we create the elements in payroll, it doesn't. No. That's why it's a combination element. We'll first switch. I have my loan span here. And I have my company's element here. This company's element we will map to our name. In simple as a big terminology wage type. This is going to act as a bridge between competition module and payroll. Whatever the endings that we are creating, first we need to create in compensation element. After that we have to create an evidence plan. Then it will come to. Now again, I want to discuss the topic as well. When I say our name, what is the difference between our name and direction? And our adds to the employee's compensation. Gross deduction makes away. Now let's ask this question. What are the types of our names? We have salary, but then we have other types of earnings like a gym membership allowance, plans housing allowance, a car allowance. If the company pays part of your premiums for your insurance benefit. When we discuss that, absolutely. Let's stick to this. Apart from this, this is also going to be added to the employee gross. You agree? If you give salary advance loan amount, is it going to be added to the employee gross? Correct? Now I'm going to your question. You mentioned all the earnings must be go to the compensation. No, these are ad hoc. Correct. Ad hoc on demand. These are not. These are not part of employee salary. These are like the benefits given to them, benefits given by the company to an employee. Employee cannot not take up to employee interest. These amounts we no need to answer under compensation. These are amounts you can process through the payroll input. These amounts, especially ad hoc payments, you can process through the payroll input. Regular wages must be go through compensation only. Any questions, clear or not clear? My understanding is like if it is a regular and then we will include in compensation if it's an individual, like one-time payment, something like that. But I get a little bit. Or a direct payroll. Directly, you can process from. That's the current. How do you do the payroll input? Definitely. Can I proceed now itself? Shall let's do that. Learning. Now, let's assume I'm processing loan to this employee. Assume employee requested $10,000 US dollars loan amount. And you agree to repay loan repayment. $1,000 every month. This is earning. This is deduction. This is earning. This is deduction. Now this ad hoc one I can't process through the compensation. Improper payroll itself I have to manage. First I will create an earning. Let's see for this. We will process. Running. Name. AMD loan payment. Am loan restricted to country USA. Scroll down to writing. Like where and category. Since I'm processing through the payroll input, ad hoc payment eligible to rule search for payroll input. The loan amount, the $10,000 you are paying, is a one-time or ongoing. It's always one time. Once a while you can give loan correct. Do you agree? I'm going to select one of the calculation payroll input one time exist for pay component. This is a work with delivered calculation. What we're trying to say. The employee has one-time payment input. Then the employee is eligible. That's what we're saying. Scroll down in the calculation. Search for payroll input work, the standard calculation, and select input amount allowed. If you're giving the amount along with the salary, ignore this field. If you're giving that amount on a weekly basis or in a one a week, you need to over at the frequency. I will explain this one. Please ignore. I don't want to discuss all the details. You will get confused. Make it simple. I have created a simple loan payment code. I gave to give one category defined eligible to work the standard one calculation also selected. Input amount allowed, not the above. Since I'm not bringing from company. So, no progression because it's longer since I'm not bringing from compensation and only to define any value here. Make it blank. Scroll down. Go to the worker. Johnson. The testing for this one. Go to more. Pay component start at 112090 and that 10131 2090. The one-time payment, there's no problem. Semi-monthly. A component, we created our pay component, loan payment. Select. Make sure the loan payment must be available. Scroll down. It's a one-time payment. Processing defaults. I'm not adjusting. Processing through regular pay, also a regular run category. Hold this one. As I said, explain again. Scroll down. Scroll to the side. How much loan you want to give? 10,000. And you can give a comment. May I get approved? Cost as well as a loan amount. Select. Is it cost? Don't worry, I will expand. Make it more simple. Or input also not there. How can you test it? Go to the results. I'm going to test it. Reduction. Pay calculation. Recalculate. If you see 10,000 is increased, then it's passed. $10,000 has not been increased. Any reason? Why it is not increased? What went wrong? Well, I was just going to ask you what you're doing here. To quote recalculate. Is it just a stimulation and then you have to go back and yes, it's a simulation. We are not giving any result. It's just a stimulation to see what it would do to the bank. Correct. Why didn't it? We have given a one-time payment as a rate for 31st of Jan. As it is a semi-monthly calculation, it will take in the next run. But I gave 1/1 at 2019, which means the payroll is happening between these two dates also. Shall I explain? Intentionally, I did one mistake. The reason is, if you do mistakes, you will remember. What I did is, I haven't assigned. Add to browse. When you don't select this, add to browse. This won't display in the past. Make sure. This is very important, especially for earnings. Now let's test again. Same, I'm going to repeat reduction. Pick up. If it is increased to 10,000, then it's working. It should work now. Let's see. 24,000. Can we see or not? It's not working. Little afraid to test anything in this share it. Now let me troubleshoot why it is not processing. Go at. I will see whether my earnings have been processed here or not. Run amount is not processed. Now let's troubleshoot. I think could be a little bit different. I think we have one-time payment last, but one option is the room. I will just give a try with this because, as I mentioned it, and on, we'll get the result. Another challenge is when we create the payroll import. It should display for worker here under input. But surprisingly, it's not displaying and not showing the security issue or not. I will give a try. Let's see if our 24,000 will process or not. No, it's not processed. Let's see if paper is fetching or not. Last. If not, I don't want to pollute. We'll continue. One to 15, 15 to 30. Subperiod when we have to select is mid of the month. We tried with this. Let me try with this subperiod because mid of the month we are paying to the employee on 15th. Subperiod is nothing but between one date 1 to 30. On channel. We can pay tab. Call. To. Then it's not about calculation, ma. The reason is pay input is not available here. Could be a security issue. My request. We tried with 3 calculations. Can I hold and continue the same troubleshooting in our next session? And also we will test out detection as well. Is that? That's fine. Because I tried with 3 calculations. Not working. I want to check the talent once. I don't know what I will do. We will troubleshoot. Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel. For more information, contact us sales@uptalk.com.